Okay. So we have the only person who's ever in the history of time tried to move their wake up time to later in the day. What's and from 3:30 to what, 4:30? What's the I guess what's the reason behind it?
Yeah, well, so I'm going to bed. Well, this is the first thing that people freak out about. They're like, "You're in bed at what time?" And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I'm asleep at that time. I'm not in bed." So I'm asleep at like 8:30 most nights because the little one goes to bed at 7, quarter past 7, something like that. And then from there, like I'll be getting home a little bit later just because of soccer most nights or because of clients too. And I'll get home at probably 8:30 straight into bed, and I'm asleep like straight away. And so lately, I've just been trying to move it back because I've been getting up, like just waking up at 3 o'clock. I bang, wake up, and it's like 2:59. I'm like, oh. And my alarm goes off at 4:30. Like I always put an alarm on just in case. I don't trust myself to not wake up. Probably when I get maybe a little bit older and I start hitting the 30s, maybe I might. But I don't know why, but I just keep waking up at 3. So anyway, I moved my sleep time back to like go to bed at 10:30, which was probably not the smartest idea in the world in hindsight, because now like trying to wake up at 4:35 ish, I just feel like I haven't slept well. And so alarm went off the other day and it scared the shit out of me. It's never ever done that before. I can't remember the last time it's done that. It just freaked me out. And I got up and I was just in a daze for the whole day. So I'm trying to push it back, but I'm just thinking, like we were just saying before, I'm literally just thinking, just get up at 3 and just deal with it. Sit there, and I did my tax. This is what happened the other day. I did my tax the other day because I was up at 3, and I'm like, well, I'm not going back to sleep, so I'm just going to get up, and I'm like, well, I got to do my tax, so I'm just going to do my tax. So I got myself ready because I'm a sole trader, and I got to do all the stuff that sole traders do. But um, yeah, yeah. So I'm honestly contemplating just going back to going to sleep, getting some good sleep, and just waking up when I wake up because I don't feel tired at night time. That's the other thing too. Like as soon as I'm in my bed, like we've spoken about before, like when I'm in my bed, I'm out. Like there's no ifs, buts, coconuts, bro. Like I'm gone. I'm finished asleep. But I can go for a little bit longer if I'm out of bed. So yeah, it's strange.
Hmm. I mean, is it like, do you want to be up later, do things later in the night, or like do you just like not want to be up at 3, or like just because it's like a more normal
Yeah,
thing to be up at 4:30?
yeah, probably that. Probably because I've been so used to getting up at 4:30 for such a long time that now it's like, oh, let's get up at 3. And probably because I'm going to bed at like 8 o'clock too, 8:30. I'm like, I'm in bed and asleep, and then I'm going. And then when I wake up in the morning, like I don't feel tired, apart from the last 2 days when I've been going to bed at like 10:30. I do feel tired because obviously I'm changing something. But yeah, I think I'm just going to go back to it, man. Like you, because you're the other way around. I know, like you were saying that you go to bed later, don't you? And you wake up a little bit later.
Yeah. Well, what time did I go to bed last night? I think I was 11 or so, maybe last night. Maybe a little after 11. Woke up at 7 for a session.
Yeah. Mm,
It was not particularly easy to get up at 7.
mm. Yeah,
So it's
because it's too early for you.
a little bit, yeah.
Wow.
I Dude, I don't know. I haven't been able to shift my schedule to 4:30. Um, I don't know what it is. Like it's just hard for me to it's just hard for me to get to sleep that early. Like in terms
Mm.
of actually falling asleep and just like getting to bed, hard.
Yeah, I think I went through a phase where I just had to get up that early because I was coaching so early in the morning. So what I did was I tried to go to bed early, and like the same thing happened. I wouldn't fall asleep until like maybe 10 o'clock, 10:30, not 11 o'clock. But then I would just get up, and then slowly, like I was up at 4:30 almost every morning, or just before 5, and I have to be on the road by quarter past 5 to be able to get to the gym. So, and then for me too, like I like to be prepared and get there early and everything like that when I was at the gym. Um, so yeah, that over probably like maybe 6 months just changed and shifted my routine. So now, like, I can just get up early in the morning and I'm good to go. Like, but I think what'll be really, really good is once I open up the place, my little place, I'll be able to go somewhere. So it won't be like I'll be making noise in the house. I'll just have everything organized, things ready to go, and then we'll jet on down, and then I won't be a burden. Yeah. So yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, I'm sure I could shift it if I like desperately wanted to, but like the pain that I would go through to shift that schedule would be like not worth it to me.
Well, it's like, I guess, what do you for you? I think, and we've spoken about this a lot. For you, like, you get a lot of your good stuff done later on at night. Hey, like, that's when you do. Is that when you do like a lot of your programming, or is that when you kind of like you're more almost like wired compared to when you're on the morning? Because like you wake up in the morning and you're not like, by the sounds of things anyway, you're not on. You know.
Yeah, I mean, generally it takes me a little while to get going, but I mean, there are a lot of times where it's like I get up and like it's if I get up and I like first thing start doing something, then it's like we're good to go. We can fly early in the morning. But if I get up and like don't like automatically get into something, then it's like the morning is tough.
Mm.
And I mean, there's afternoons that I'm tired and it's like nothing's happening. There's afternoons where it's like, all right, let's fly. Everything's going. So I don't know. I haven't figured out really what a good schedule is for me.
Mm.
I should probably, but
Yeah. Well, definitely. Like the sleep's one of the most important, probably if not the most important. You know, like, and that's one thing that I think a lot of people are struggling with at the moment. Is actually getting a decent amount of sleep or getting decent sleep, like switching off all the lights, doing all that sort of stuff. Like, that's what's going to really help. If you can actually get that stuff done and get yourself into a routine, like that's probably going to get you up earlier too. Because you're going to have, do you feel like you sleep well though? Like, do you have a restful sleep?
Yeah. Generally I think it's more of a length of sleep that I don't quite get what I would like. Just because like I think I kind of count back 8 or 9 hours from when I know I have to get up. And then I like try to aim to go to bed then. And then of course it always ends up being later than that. So then I get less than I would like. So that's generally why I think I get less sleep than I would like to. Because if it's like, all right, I know I have to get up at 7 and it's 8 o'clock. Like, all right, I got like 11 hours until I have to be up. And like I can just start doing whatever. And then it's like there's 10 hours, I can still do whatever. 9 is like, all right, I should start going to bed. And then all of a sudden it's like 8. It's like, oh shit, I gotta be in bed now. And then I get like 7 hours, 7.5 hours of sleep or something. So it's like, I don't know. It's probably just me not being as strict about it as I should.
Yeah, see, I am pretty strict. Like, usually when I gotta go to bed, I'll go to bed. Like, I'm not badassing around. Like, I'm in bed and I'm good to go. Apart from the last 2 nights where I had a dinner, and then the other one was the trial run to see whether I'm actually gonna be all right, which I was not. I was sitting at dinner last night and I'm like, just out, and everyone's like, "You're all right. Is fatherhood really, really hurting you?" And I'm like, "No, no, 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 no. I'm fine. I'm fine with that. It's just I'm trying new things and it's not working for me." And they're like, "Oh, okay, okay." Anyway, I wanted to ask you. We spoke about it last week about Jake Tura. Like, I started following him on Instagram and all of his um muscle hypertrophy, something. I can't remember the other pages.
Hypertrophy clusters, yeah.
They're the ones. Yeah. You said you had a good chat with him, and I've been looking at a lot of his stuff, and I'm like, this is interesting. Like, I'm on the verge of going, like, clicking the buy program, because all I see is like his posts come up. It's like, just buy the program. Like, stop asking so many questions. Just buy the program. But I'm yeah, that's some good stuff. Just buy the program. I'm really interested. Like, and maybe there'd be some other listeners as well, because a lot of his stuff it's really cool, and you had a pretty good conversation with him by the sounds of things. what's it all about? Like, because I mean, it sounds like, and it looks like, um, obviously it's like a strength program, so it's not the same as ATG. But then also the way that he's talking about tendon strength, working at, and you'll correct me if I'm wrong, but like working at particular ranges, not going into that full range to strengthen that tendon, because you're working more so at like um a shortened range to hit that tendon. Is that what he's kind of working at?
Um, it's hard to like generalize it like that, but so
Let's use a squat as an example. Let's just use a
yeah.
squat with a
So what he's saying, you have to take from a perspective of patellotendinitis, tendinopathy, whatever, um, and in more severe cases. So what he isn't saying is that full range is bad for the knees. Like if you actually ask him, he'll be like, "Yo, yeah, full range, great for the knees, like for sure." But what he's saying is that when you get somebody with patellotendinopathy, oftentimes they can't go into that full range without getting pain in the knee. So you don't start people there a lot of times. And what he proposed generally as the alternative is what exercises can you do that will pull on the patellar tendon and get the stress shielding is the mechanism you're trying to get around of the patella, like shifting forces around the affected area in the patella tendon. So you're trying to get, and I think, there's a word for it. I think it's called stress relaxation or something, whatever. So you're trying to get as much pull as possible with the quad to pull on the patella tendon. So if you load it quickly, um, the patella tendon does a really good job of dissipating forces around. But if you pull on it for like 30 seconds, like really hard with the quad, it doesn't have any choice but to pull all of the tendon fibers and to lengthen and actually strengthen the affected area. And his argument generally is that the exercises that you're able to produce the most force with the quad to pull on that patella tendon are something like a traditional Bulgarian split squat with that sort of 90-degree knee bend that you can load up super heavy, or even more so one of the isometric holds. So like um with patella tendinopathy to target the patella tendon, it's something like 110 to 130 degrees of knee bend. So like 90, like 110 to 130, somewhere in this range on like a leg extension or like a split squat hold or a leg press hold or something like that, that you can maximally recruit that quad in the same way that, like, technically isometrically you're the strongest out of any of the three phases. So like isometric you're strongest, eccentric you're next strongest, and concentric you're next strongest. Some people argue eccentric, but you can produce the most force isometrically.
Mhm.
So that's his argument for those specific ranges for building patellar tendonitis, healing patellar tendinopathy. That was a long-winded answer, but does that kind of answer what?
Yeah, big time. Like, because he's obviously got, which looks like there's a couple of different things that he's kind of,
I think there's three. There's
yeah,
hypertrophy clusters, which is basically, to put into one sentence, twice the sets, half the reps, 8x5, 10x3, 12x2, 10x4, whatever. Heavy weights. It's basically dense, but
mm,
like a little bit, but instead of on the minute, it's like you just rest a minute in between. Then there's the vertical jump program. I haven't done hypertrophy clusters or the vertical jump program.
mm.
I think his vertical jump program is just his way of like priming the CNS, doing the range specific strengthening, jumping.
Mm.
Jumper stuff. And then he's got the jumper's knee protocol, which is all the patella tendinopathy stuff that I do have that. I have his ebook on that. Which is good too. So I think those are the three things he's got.
Yeah, yeah. The hypertrophy one reminded me a lot of that. Because doing like you were saying 8x5s and all that sort of stuff. Yeah, that I was yeah, because you spoke about him last week, and I'm like, huh, never heard of him before. And then I looked on Instagram, and I'm like, huh, all right. And then I just kept going down the rabbit hole, and then all these other posts just kind of like encapsulated me. It was like a fishing rod just hanging it out there. I'm like, just buy the program, just buy the program, just buy the program. I'm like, this not that I wanted to buy the program because you kept saying buy the program. I wanted to buy the program because I'm like, this is really, really interesting. It's actually it's something that I haven't really like seen much of, I guess, especially with a lot of stuff that he puts up on the jumpers, that his jumping page too, which you said you haven't done, but I'm also curious on that one too, because like a lot of what he's saying with like skin in the game and that sort of stuff, and people having their own opinions, like he seems like a pretty, I mean, you would know, like you've had a chat with him, but he seems like a pretty, no bullshit kind of guy.
Yeah, I mean, he's kind of a no bullshit guy, but he's also kind of like a total bullshit guy. Like in the way he's got the science down, he understands all the stuff, gets really good results with people, but then like he loves just like shit posting online. Like some of the things he posts are so funny. I'm like, how does this even work? Like how
Yeah.
like just as stupid, like all the stuff is like making graphs, like asking no questions, buying the program and just doing it for 2 years, and it's like results.
Yeah.
It's so funny, but it's like it's also like maybe that's like a masterclass in marketing that I just don't understand. Um, but it's also like I think it's perfect for his market of people. I think like he's looking exactly for dudes that are like 18 to 35, like to play basketball, but also want to be big, want to dunk, but then try to dunk and got patella tendinopathy. And then they did the jumper's knee program and then got rid of the patella tendinopathy and then do the vertical jump program to jump higher. And then they want to get bigger, so they do hypertrophy clusters and they just keep doing all of them. And it's like that age range, I think, responds really well to those kind of posts online. So he probably just is hitting everything perfectly.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean that's what it looks like for sure. Speaking of big dudes being able to jump, I was something flashed up on Instagram last night again. With I don't know how to pronounce his name. I think I'm getting it right, but when Gunther, the shot putter.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like looking at that guy move 130 something kilos, which is like I think it's almost 300 pounds, moving the way that he was moving, like and just seeing some of the stuff that he's doing. Like I was watching a video and he was jumping over like as in hurdling a sprinter's hurdle. Like just like the guy to be that big and be able to move that way, it's like what the hell? Have you? Because he had like a specific sort of styled program where he was doing like a lot of what most people would classify as like I guess weird or like uncommon things that don't really happen. Have you ever sort of dived into that much or seen
Like
a lot of this stuff?
I haven't seen a ton of it. I've seen all the clips that people love to keep posting online of him doing like the extensive flyers and like jumping over the hurdles and jumping up the stairs and
Mm.
doing those kind of things. But I haven't actually seen what his programming looked like. I've
Mm.
just seen the videos. They're like, look how big this guy is jumping like that. Um, and then people take it as like that's all that you need to do. But like that dude is like an ox. Like nobody's that strong. I don't know. I haven't looked into his programming that much.
Yeah, no, I was flicking through and I'm like, man, this is just like it's so cool because like one, it's actually like this more so has to do with we went out with Florence to go see the chiropractor the other day. Like he's been really helping with her stomach. Like he does this whole thing to help the stomach. Anyway, don't want to get into it too much. But one thing that he said a little while ago, he's like, just because it's common doesn't mean that it's normal. and that's kind of stuck with me with a lot of things. Like a lot of people who it's like it's common to be doing these particular things, or like you have someone like Werner who's like the complete other end of the spectrum. And yeah, like I put something up. I was like, it's probably genetically he's wired to be able to do that sort of stuff. So he might have that on his side. But just because he can do it doesn't mean that like nobody else can do it in the way that he's done it. Obviously, he's followed a particular regime, whether it's his training or his eating or his sleeping or whatever it is that he's doing. And obviously, he's a professional at what he's doing. But like, just because you've never really seen many people do it before doesn't mean that it can't be done. Like he's kind of like that anomaly, like George Hackenschmidt almost. You know, being able to jump over things at age 70, whatever it was. But like, I think people are coming around to it now. But do you think that people are sort of looking at those anomalies, so like Werner and George Hackenschmidt, and then I'm sure that you know a couple of other people, and being like, nah, it's just one person, it's just one in a million. It would never ever happen to me, or I'd never be able to get rid of this, or I'd never be able to do that. Like just because he's 70 and I'm 50 and he can jump over this, or he weighs this much and be able to do that, I would never ever be able to do that because it's just who I am. Or do you think that there's the potential to be able to do those sort of things, or do you think that they are just an anomaly and they can't? Like no one else can do what they've done.
I mean, to be fair, I think 99% of the world has no idea who Werner Gunther and George Hackenschmidt are, and have never even considered the idea of like being able to do things like that when they're 70. I don't know. It's hard for me to say because I think I live in a world and I'm surrounded with people who are like probably outlandishly confident in the things that they can do. Like just irrationally believes that there's no limits. Um, so it's hard for me to actually judge and try and like step outside of like that group of people. I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, there's obviously some subset of people that are like try to attribute everything to steroids and genetics, um, which to some extent there is truth in, but also like you don't just like start taking D-ball and all of a sudden look like Werner Gunther. Whether he was on steroids or not, I don't know, but I think it's not possible for everybody, but probably bigger things are possible for most people than they're looking at.
Mm.
Like I'll never throw a shot put as far as Werner Gunther. Like I trained the rest of my life and I'll never throw a shot put that far. For me to decide to go become a world record shot putter would be like a pretty bad decision. Just for like numerous reasons. But like there are other things that like I could probably do that Werner Gunther probably couldn't. I don't know. Maybe he's just like a freak and could do everything I could do better. But yeah, I think the answer is somewhere in the middle. I think there's people on both ends. There's just like the vocal minority of people that are like steroids, and I don't know. Not a great answer to the question, but
No. I just thought I'd ask because I'm curious too. Like, I mean, I like to think that just because they are an anomaly, they are part of the 1%, they are able to do A, B, C, and D, or whatever it is. Like, I think that it is possible for most people, obviously, if they put the time and attention and focus into actually doing it. And you're not like you do have genetics on your side, not saying that like you can develop muscle or whatever in a particular way or whatever it is, but like in terms of height and all that sort of stuff, like genetically, your genetic makeup of what you look like. I mean, you've got someone who's like 5'0" compared to however tall Gunther was, which was like, I don't know, 6'3" or something, 6'4". So like he's a big dude. Like obviously that's gonna have a part to play. But I think that every human being, actually, not every human being, most healthy human beings. So like you've been, I was gonna say you've been kind of born normal, you know, like, and I guess what is normal depends on what you classify normal as, but like most healthy human beings, I think, have the potential to be able to do some pretty extraordinary kinds of things, like with their body, whether it's mobility wise, like being able to do the splits, for example, or strength wise, being able to squat double, triple your weight, or whatever it might be, like, that sort of stuff. I think every single human being has the potential, but we kind of get dumbed down pretty quickly. Like, I mean, you have a look at the obesity rates, which are just skyrocketing at the moment, and we're taking another kind of like road here. But you think about back in the 1990s, it was 5%. I think it was of Americans, 5% of Americans were obese, and now you're looking at like 30%, almost 30% of Americans are like obese, and it's like, what are you doing with yourself and with your body? If there's so much potential there, there's so much potential, and we're just feeding it crap. I had a big cry about it last night. I was talking about it to my dad. I'm like, it's bullshit. It's bullshit how my sister works at a cafe. And she was telling me some stories about how some people eat their whole meal and say they didn't like the meal, and then come back and say, we don't like the meal. I either want a refund, or I want something else. And if you don't, I'll give you a bad review. And it's like, excuse me? You ate the whole thing? Like, I don't understand how people can be so narcissistic and treat their bodies in this way, like, and it'd be normal for them, like, just to eat crap and drink crap and do crap. Like, you were saying before, you're not part of that. You might not see much of that, because most of the people that you're surrounding yourself with are like on that other end of the spectrum, where they're looking to like want to improve, and they're pretty good at what they do. So yeah, just a bit of a cry for me.
Yeah, I mean, Mitchell Hooper, world's strongest man, was talking about it, the genetic thing at one point, and like, he's a freak. So he was running marathons, and then he turned into a power lifter, and now, like, a year or two into strongman, he won world's strongest man. And he was talking about, he's like, there's like very few people who are just even genetically capable of like challenging him in terms of strength. Like, you have to be predisposed to putting on muscle. You have to be predisposed to getting really strong. You have to be the right size. You have to have the nervous system for it. Like, all of these things. And it's like, that's true. That is like very much true. Like, neither you or I have the build or anything to challenge as a strong man, but like, almost anybody get into the top 1% of like strong men in the world. Like, I mean, 1% is like 70 million people. Like, it's not hard to be in the top 70 million people in terms of strongman. If you break it down into strongman competitors, then like, I don't know how many people do strongman, but like, everybody has some genetic cap in all activities, most generally. But like, how many people ever find that in any activity is like pretty low.
Yeah. Yeah, I think this is more so on like a broader spectrum of people actually not succumbing to the ease of I remember seeing something of this overweight lady, I think she was a lady, talking about how like you get caught, well, and this is probably me getting triggered by it all, where it's like they're talking about bodybuilders putting in so much time into building their muscles, and fat and obese people are just putting in so much time into eating so much food that it's like a competition, and they're getting bigger and fatter, and it's the same as bodybuilding. And it's like, there is no comparison to any of that at all. And if you think there is, you're not healthy, like, in the head. It's Yeah, we could be getting down some dark territory here, but let's let's move it across. How's your online 15-minute football going?
But people are getting on, people are trying it, people are liking it. Some changes to the way everything's set up are coming to make it more comprehensive for soccer players, football players, to add in some more conditioning, some more technical stuff, to build more of a complete thing that people can customize to their ability, um, which will be cool. I just have to do it. It's all the whole problem is getting everything that's like up here into something that I can just like give to people and they can use it to help train. So that just has to happen. But people have been going through the 15-minute football. I think people have been liking it. We do some updating to that programming too, but generally it's doing good. How's have you started the accountability program
Yeah, yeah,
or
yeah,
how's
yeah. We
that?
have. So we got good. Yeah, doing really, really well. We've got 4 people on board, which I wanted to start at small, and it's already started off really, really well. Like, and this for me is like I'm kind of shifting because I'll be opening up a place. Or I'm opening a place soon. I want to be able to capture the demographic and the market of people that I really, really want to work with. And so this is what it has been kind of designed around is the program has been designed around is about the market I really want to work with. And it's amazing, man. I'm doing a little bit of work with Luke Harbison, the owner of the farm gym. Him and his wife Acacia. We had him on the podcast
Yeah.
a little while ago. Yeah. And having spent so much time with him so long ago on his farm gym and watching how everything kind of worked, I'm like, man, I'd love to replicate this and be able to recreate this. And so we've been working closely together. He's been popping things inside my brain, just asking me questions, and they're just sitting there, and I'm like, just like mulling over them. And they're just constantly in my head thinking about like those next progressive steps. And the massive thing, which like has it's actually been, it makes so much sense, but you kind of don't think about it much. It's like you want to, the intention is important. So like the intention of, want to have people come to my gym, want to have people do my programs, want to have people come and see me one-to-one. I want to have people experience incredible results. Like, yeah, that's what I want. But the big thing is like the intent of actually acting and like taking the action. And so since I've started doing that and I've been acting on actually getting people to come and see me. And like the intention was to have people to come to me, but now acting on actually getting people to come and see me out of the blue. It's been like, there's been 4 clients in the last 3 weeks. And like, it's not even that I've gone out and reached out to them. It's that I've spoken with people and other people have just done the work for me, like little disciples, and just been pulling people into me. And so to pick up, 3 or 4 new clients, literally without really working that, I wouldn't say not working that hard, it has been work, but like the act of actually taking action has been massive. And I can really feel that now. And I've got, like I said, you get 3 or 4 new clients to kind of be a testament to that. So that's one big thing at the moment that I'm working on, obviously with the accountability program as well. That's been doing really, really well. I've been really, really happy with it. So yeah, just and that's also what I want people to experience too. It's like, take the action. Just take the action. That's what you got to do. You don't have to worry about anything else. Just act. Come and see me X amount of times a week, and we'll be able to make some massive changes for you. Like, that's as simple as it is. And all you got to do is just keep showing up, keep acting on what you want to do, and away you go. And that's literally what's been happening for me.
I see the trap bar in the background. You've been picking up more new equipment.
Yeah. So I've had one of the trap bar was actually from one of my friends. I had someone coming over to see me. There's some things that are going on at our soccer club. So one of the boys is potentially trialing for an A-League team. And so I managed, because I've got mates who play for the A-League team. And so we're trying to get him as prepped as possible to kind of mirror what their program looks like. And like, it's not I was saying to the player who came and saw me, it's like, man, this is not stuff that I do. Like, I know it, but I don't actively use the trap bar like all the time, at all, actually, like never. And I grabbed managed to get my hands on the program that they were using, and so I'm looking at the program like, okay, well, I'm trying to mirror it as much as possible. So then when he goes into playing and trialing for a couple of weeks that he's there, it's not a complete shock to his system. So like, it's almost like he's been doing it and he's all right. So it's almost like preparing him for it. And yeah, so I asked one of my mates who had the trap bar that's been sitting in his back shed for, I don't know, maybe a year and a half, not being used. I'm like, hey man, can I borrow that trap bar and just find a spot in my very, very small garage? And I'm like, I didn't think I could fit anything else, but I can. I managed to fit more. So I don't think I can fit anything else. Like, there's nothing else that I want that I can fit. And I'm looking for space right now. It's like, no, there's nothing else here. So yeah.
There you go. The trap bar is an interesting thing. It's cool. I don't always like it. People misuse it a lot. It's another tool.
Yeah, I remember you saying a little while ago that you were not the biggest fan of the trap bar.
Yeah, well, a lot of people think like, all right, I'm gonna do all these plyos, and then it's like, we need some strength movement. Let's do some high handle trap bar deadlifts. All right, there's my strength movement. Back to the plyos. Like, no, that's not how that works. You can do high handle trap bar deadlift, but you also need to do like some bottom range work, and like people just drop it from the top. It's like, all right, you also need to control the way down. Like, yeah, I understand using the high handles for like peaking and building top range strength, but it's like the same thing as doing rhythm squats, except you don't control the weight down and reverse it on trap bar deadlifts. So I'm just not a fan of the way most people use it. I'm not against it as an implement. I'm just against the general usage of it that people do.
The way it could be used. Yeah, the way it should be used and the way that it is used by the sound of things.
Yeah, I mean, it's like, we were talking about this a while back when we did that speed podcast down at ATG. It's like, the fastest people are the strongest. Like, you physically cannot be the fastest person without putting the most force into the ground. But like, a lot of people don't have the coordination or comfort or to do like a really deep squat, so you can't see it there. But then you can like put them on something that's relatively comfortable, like a high handle trap bar pull or like a mid thigh pull. And like, they're super strong. So people are like, all right, hold on. These guys that are really fast can trap bar pull really like a high amount like that. Like, I guess that's what I should do. And then that's all they do. It's like, well, you're missing something here, buddy. You're just building strength there that's not relative to the rest of your body. It's not that these athletes are weak in these full ranges of motion. It's just like, it's not comfortable for them. Like, you give them a couple weeks of doing it, and it's like, they're gonna be way stronger than you are, buddy. Like, you need to get stronger everywhere. That's the general use of trap bar that I don't like.
Makes sense.
And just dropping it at the top. I don't like when people just drop it at the top. I think
unless it's in as part of Jake Tura's program, or not even that.
I know he does do that, to be fair. He does drop it. No, the only time I could see it is if you were doing like jumps, or like if you're really peaking, which, like, how many people even need to peak in the world? Like 11. Like a percent of a percent of a percent of people ever actually need to peak for anything. So like, just control it back down. If you can't control it down, you're just weak anyway. So
Very scar triggered. How's the footy going? Last little bit. How's you getting out a little bit more by the looks of things?
Yeah,
sorry,
it's good. Same thing. It's good. We haven't played as much recently. School start getting closer to starting for kids, so we playing with some guys that are real good. Um, some guys that were like there's some guys that were like first team all region in college as freshmen. So all like some of the top one of the guys, one of the top freshmen in the nation. Good player, plays with the professional team in the off season. Um, so it's always yeah, and then some other top college guys and some other guys who were good in college. So it's fun to go out and be like, yeah, I'm definitely not the best player here by quite some distance. 'Cause like if I go play in like a men's league thing with guys that are like retired and not playing anymore, it's like, yeah, it's not even close. So going out and being like, yeah, I am a role player here with some of these dudes, it's like it's a good time. I like it. It makes you play harder.
Nice.
It's a good
Nice.
time.
Yeah.
How's the road back to footy for you? You been
Yeah,
getting closer?
it's yeah, I've um I've been putting in some work and some time, and the nice thing is that I haven't had a tibial dislocation in like in a while, because sometimes it'd be just random, like I would change direction, and because it happened quite often, like I think just the joint itself became really unstable.
Hmm.
um, and also because of how it started happening. Like, I mean, the tibial, the first ever one that I had was from a tackle. So like their knee pushed on the lateral side of my lower leg, and then kind of pushed my tibia out, and so like it's clicked out, clicked back in again. um, and so because it forcefully got dislocated, I think I was already kind of on the back of it. Like I'm already kind of behind the eight ball, so to speak. So yeah, apart from that though, like to not have had a tibial dislocation in what's been a couple of months has been really nice. So slowly just getting back into the swing of things. I had, because I'm at soccer all the time, and the amateur team, they train there at the same time that we do. So I keep getting the amateur coach like coming up and asking me questions like, "Are you gonna, you should come out and play." I'm like, just relax, man. Now I'm getting like other people asking me those questions who are coming back to play because he's bringing in all these players again. I'm like, come, why don't you come back and play? Oh, just guys, listen, let's stop now, right? Let's just cut it. Okay, I'm not coming back, not right now. Just give me some time. All right, give me some time. And I'm like, okay, cool. No worries, understand. When you're ready, come back. I'm like, yeah, that's what you keep saying. And then you ask me again, and then you ask me again. I'm like, no. But it is going well. It's going well. We're getting stronger and stronger. Working on these pull-ups has been another distraction for me too. I've been doing the ATG wrist, elbow, and shoulder protocols on the app, and that they've been wild. I've been using the the middle of the Greek athlete sled to use like for the ulnar and radial flexion, and then the pronation and supination, and just adding like a 1 kilo weight to the end of it sometimes, or even putting like the triflexor pieces together and using that. I reckon, yeah, it's over there. It's still there. Like I put the clips around that, and it works fine, and it works really well. So, I've been doing that just to help with elbow and biceps tendons, like because they're firing up quite a bit. And definitely getting stronger, like upper body for sure. That's been really good. But the return to soccer has been good. I think there's been a lot of focus as well on actually keeping the boys fit and healthy for the end of the season too. Like we're coming in, we're going to game today. We win today, we go 6 points clear. And no one else is playing today because they're having a break for the FIFA World Cup. Just our state is breaking like this, which is weird. I don't understand why, but the breaking for this next 3 week or the 3 weeks the World Cup's here. So yeah, we're the only team that's playing. We win, we go 6 points clear. With obviously we got one game left, and everyone else has 2 games. But it's a step in the right direction. It's been nice, man. Like we've got every single player available, every single player. Like there's not one player that's missing out, which is really good. You know, obviously it's great. So yeah,
There you go. I think maybe we leave it there for today.
Sounds good. Sounds good.
Where can everybody find you? Where can everybody watch you do trap bar pulls?
uh, Coach Carly on Instagram had someone the other day was like, "Why do you have so many eyes at the end of your name?" And I'm like, "Well, one eye was gone, and I didn't want to put a dot or an underscore in there, and two eyes was there, but I thought three eyes was better." So, Coach Carly with the three eyes. Yeah, just on Instagram, not really anywhere else. Yeah, how about yourself, Matty?
Yeah. Score performance. It'll be down below. SKAAR. It'll be down below. I just for the first time, maybe ever, checked my TikTok DMs. So if you do DM me, don't DM me on TikTok. I will not see it. Yeah, Instagram's really the only thing I use. So, all right, you made it this far. Appreciate it, and we'll see everybody next week.
See you guys.